Hi everyone, it's Leslie from LemonGroveLane.com. Today I'm going to share a pasta recipe that is a family favorite. What inspired me to make this recipe is a pizza that I get when I go out to lunch when I'm working in the office. So I am going to kind of duplicate that, except I'm going to use pasta instead of pizza dough. So you're going to need a few things. Burrata cheese. This tastes so good on pasta when it's done. Pesto. Now you can make that non-dairy if you want. I'm going to be using Parmesan cheese in this. Also you'll need some artichoke hearts. You can get some fresh grilled artichoke hearts at your local market, or you can get them in a jar. Either way is fine. Tomatoes, a pint of cherry tomatoes, and I'm using linguine, and then of course you're going to want to add some fresh herbs. I've got some thyme, rosemary here, and then of course fresh basil, which smells so good. Some olive oil on these cherry tomatoes. Add a little salt. While the tomatoes cook, I'm going to lightly toast my pine nuts and garlic. So these cook really fast. Cook your garlic just enough so that it's a little bit toasty. If you are sensitive to raw garlic, I think you'll find it a lot easier. Almost finished. I'm just going to give this basil a rough chop and put it in my Vitamix. So I'm not removing all the stems because there's a lot of nutrition in that, but I am removing the big ones. And you need about 2 cups of fresh basil to make your pesto. And you can actually freeze pesto. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in Vitamix. Going to add your fresh basil, pine nuts, garlic. Everything could go right in that blender. Half a cup olive oil and half a cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. It's very thick, so if you want it a little bit thinner, then what I'm going to do is add a little bit of lemon juice to this. I like the lemon taste in my pesto, and it will thin it out just a touch. Tomatoes are done. You can see they're just really soft and falling apart. That's what you want there. And you can actually make more of these if you want, and then save them for during the week for another meal. While my pasta water is boiling, I'm going to go ahead and get the other items ready. I just found actually grilled artichoke hearts, and they're beautiful, so I'm going to go ahead and use these. I did mention you can use the ones in the jar. In fact, I bought these thinking I wasn't going to find these, but I got lucky. You don't really need to do a lot to these. Just going to cut them up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and zest some of the lemon. This will be really great on top of the pasta. It smells so good. Love the smell of lemon. In fact, I use lemon in everything. I start off with lemon in the morning. I have it in my water, and I use it for my salad, in my salad dressings. I use it on my chicken, in my soups, and on my pasta, my pesto. You can just zest a half or a whole lemon if you'd like. Whatever kind of kale you like. This is just a purple kale that I thought was really pretty. And the key, I think, for this is just to cut it into really small pieces. And kale is something you can, the more you work with it, and actually if you put a little salt on it and you work it with your hands, it will become a little bit easier to work with. It's easier to eat. It softens it up a little bit. If you want to go through the trouble to take off the stems, these are kind of chewy, so you can remove those if you want and just pull off the leaves and then cut them up. That might be better, especially if you have people that are just still learning to enjoy kale. So we can do it that way too. Just want at least 2 cups in there. So the reason why I put it in with the pasta is to cook it down a little bit, otherwise it's going to be kind of chewy if I just added it. Now if you use spinach or arugula or something like that, you can add that to your pasta when it's already cooked, and it will just kind of wilt and taste really great. But this is a little bit, this is fibrous, and so you do want to cook it down. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and have that ready to go in with the pasta. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of salt to the pasta water, add this kale. So you can actually remove this if you want after a couple of minutes. Just scoop it out and then put your pasta in the water that the kale was in, or you can just add the kale, whatever works for you. There's a little bit of kale in there still, but that's okay. Cook this for a few minutes until al dente, and then I will drain it, but not rinse it. You can also retain a quarter of a cup or even a third of a cup of the pasta water, and really enhances the sauce that your pasta is in. So I probably will do that. I'm gonna go ahead and give myself a steaming facial. Just kidding. I'm draining the pasta. I'm not going to worry about getting all the water out, or all the pasta for that matter. I'm just putting a little water in there for the sauce. Dump that right back in and stir in my pesto. So good. Smells incredible with that garlic in there. I'm also going to throw in the kale, artichoke hearts, a little extra oil. It's kind of healthy-ish. I mean, you have the pasta, and you know there is the olive oil in here, but that's a good fat. And then the artichokes and the kale are really great. So don't forget I have those tomatoes I'm going to put on top. So I'm going to go ahead and plate this and add some, actually I'm going to put the lemon zest on right now too. We eat family style here, and I want this on a plate. So I've added the burrata cheese, we have artichoke hearts in there, a little bit of kale, so healthy. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe. I try to post a video almost every week sharing easy home decor ideas and simple wholesome meals for you and your family. Thanks for stopping by.